following is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com.
Where in the world is
Joseph Patrick Ryan?
Hey, we haven't heard that one for a while. Where is Joseph Patrick Ryan? We're going to have to make one for where is Jacob Dean Johnston, or whatever your middle name is.
Dino.
Yeah, but
Jacob is
welcome to the Cheap Seats, WLCN 96.3 FM. We are live at Jake's Furnishings.
Got a new headset there,
A new headset. It's not wireless.
It's
not wireless.
No, Jim,
but
Jim has expectations.
Yeah, we're getting there, though. You know, we can go wireless, like we said off the air. We can go wireless from 20 miles, but we can't go wireless from 10 feet.
No.
So
can't get there with this equipment.
That's a head scratcher. But a big show today. We got the Lincoln Lady Railers coming in. Coach Rohr and a few of the ladies are going to come in and talk about their state experience and the season in a whole. So that'll be fun. Also going to talk a little Bears football. We got the NCAA tournament going on, the Big Ten tournament, going on. I wasn't supposed to be here today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was.
Expectations for you were kind of high.
Yeah,
then, huh?
I was planning on going to Chicago to the Big Ten tournament, but the Illini laid an egg Thursday night. Got beat by Penn State. Boy, you know they say it's hard to beat a team 3 times. Not so much.
Yeah.
I mean, Penn State's got Illinois' number. So yeah, they bailed out the first round of their first game of the Big Ten tournament. Then the teams that are left, Jake, we got Indiana. They're going to be playing Penn State later on today. And then you got Purdue taking on Ohio State. Ohio State, number 13 seed going into the tournament in the Big Ten. And, you know, they've upset some teams, and now they're in the semifinals against Purdue.
Yeah, Penn State and them have had a good run this year. Good run in the tournament at least. And they look, you know, that game last night with Penn State and Northwestern, they look like they were supposed to be there. So
yeah,
I mean, Big Ten tournaments kind of like the season, a lot of up and downs in there, and Now we're getting the end, and Purdue's still standing there. So
yeah, Purdue. Penn State was a bubble team for the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's correct anymore.
Locked.
Yeah, I think they're probably going to make it, and you know, so we'll see tomorrow. Selection Sunday tomorrow. We'll see where Illinois goes. Hopefully, they get a good draw, and you know, hopefully,
where are they? Like a number?
They'll be probably
10?
8 or 9, I would guess. That's where they have them projected. But who knows? Anything that you know, you can throw those projections out the window tomorrow, because what we thought was going to happen last year didn't. So we'll just got to sit around and wait. But they're gonna make it. They're gonna keep playing, and hopefully they can get it together and go on a little run.
No, I mean that's what you want. I mean, boy, you'd like to see them dominate through the regular season, but at the same time, nobody really remembers most of the seasons. It's what happens, what they do in the tournament. So see what they can do there.
We will see. Yesterday, the Chicago Bears making a splash as they trade the number 1 pick in this upcoming NFL draft. They trade it to Carolina. And what do they get in return? They got the 9th pick, the 61st pick, a first-round pick next year, and a second-round pick in 2025. And then they also got a stud receiver in DJ Moore.
Yeah.
You know, the Bears.
DJ Moore receiving him in the trade, I think, could be a big move for them because they were needing to get another good receiver.
Yeah, Carolina looking to dump some cap space, and DJ Moore, he's a number 1 receiver, an all-pro, and the Bears are trying to help Fields out, and that's a great trade as far as developing your young quarterback in
Are you surprised they fell down to 9? I was kind of thinking they might fall back to be honest, 5 or 6, and then still trade that pick down. But falling all the way to 9, I was kind of surprised.
Well, the wheels are turning because I thought they made this. They jumped the gun a little bit. You know, the draft's not till April.
Yeah.
End of April, so they've got another, almost over a month. And I thought, this is awful early. Maybe you can get a little bit more. It's closer to the draft. But they obviously know a lot more than we do. There's probably other things in the works in the background. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do. I mean, it doesn't take much.
Well, I mean, you look at their recent drafts. I know this is a new regime, basically. This will be their first all-in draft where they'd had the season before and everything going into it. But, Bears history isn't real good. Isn't really on their side right now. So,
well, yeah, you're right, but with the new regime, as you mentioned, you got to give them the opportunity. It takes a few years, and they're looking to make it now. The NFC North. Kind of there for the taking. You obviously got Minnesota, Green Bay, and Detroit, a much improved team. So if you want to keep up with those guys, you're going to have to do something quick. And this year, the Bears are in that position where they can build their team off the draft. They can also build their team off free agency with all the cap space they have. Yeah. They have around $100 million in cap space, and they've got a whole buttload of draft picks. So, and then you add DJ Moore in the mix with Claypool, and it's looking promising. They obviously need to upgrade their line, kind of get that solid. They do need some help on defense. I mean, they still have some holes to fill.
By help on defense, you mean?
Meaning somebody they can get to the quarterback.
Or make a tackle.
Yeah, a lot of
maybe intercept a ball. I mean, any of those things would help us.
No, yeah, that helps. Yeah, that helps all teams, not just the Bears. But, so that was kind of shocking yesterday. But one thing for sure I'm glad about is I won't get about 10 mock draft messages every day with what the Bears are going to do with that number 1 pick. So that's a relief. But still a lot of work to do. And they're probably in Hallis Hall right now mapping it out, and getting a good game plan. And, boy, it's going to be exciting the next month or so.
Yeah. I mean, there's still some deliberating, I guess, on what they want to pick and who they're going to pick, but I feel they feel that their guy's going to fall in their lap, so hopefully that happens and they can start the process of getting this team on the right track, because last year they were awful.
Yeah.
Just awful.
Well, that's how you get the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
With some help from Lovie Smith.
With a little help from Lovie.
But yeah, it's going to be it's going to be fun in the next 6 weeks or so, just to see what the Bears do. But it is basketball season, Jake, and we talked a little bit about the Big Ten tournament. Now we can talk a little bit about the NCAA tournament. How you guys feeling, Illinois fans? It's like awful. We said, this selection Sunday's tomorrow, and a lot of things can happen. With these the tournament wins, a lot of things can be shuffled and over today and tomorrow, and a lot of people are going to be on the bubble, and their bubble's going to pop. Then you're going to have teams that make it in that we didn't know.
Interesting concept. Is that why they call it March Madness?
It's madness. And it's March.
Sorry about that, Scotty.
That's all right.
No, going back into the Big Ten, what do you think the Big Ten has? You look at I like Indiana. They look like a team that could be a serious contender. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of them, generally speaking, but that team's pretty solid. And then you look at Purdue, who basically from the beginning of the season has been right there. So, I mean, you got to look at them as one of the stronger contenders for the tournament.
Yeah, you do, but Purdue, a lot of teams have found their weakness. Obviously they got Zach Edey down low, and he's just burrows his way through. And if you can defend their guards and come down and help on Edey, that's been the game plan. Illinois had that game plan second half last week, and we're down by 24, came back to tie it. So Illinois, they're still a team that people are going to be afraid of. You go in as an 8 seed, and you're going up against a 9 seed. That's a game that Illinois can win. They're a scary team when they play like they can. But yeah, Purdue's probably I don't know if they should get the 1 seed in the tournament, and then you got UCLA, which Illinois beat early on. Kansas going to be another number 1 seed, and rounded off with probably Houston. They'll get that other number 1 slot. So it's going to be fun. Selection Sunday tomorrow, usually around 5:30 or so we'll see.
It'll be a fun selection show.
Yeah, we got the boys high school tournament going on this weekend. Tell us a little bit about that, Jake. Who plays today?
Well, you got a team, and you know what? The local teams are going to be good in that.
Yeah,
and,
the local
teams, and
yeah.
I don't know much about that, Scotty. I've been away for a day.
Yeah, I knew you didn't, but I don't really either.
No,
I've had to bring it up. But I know Metamora is looking pretty good. They just beat East St. Louis. They're going to play for the title today against a Simeon, who's always
where are they out of?
Chicago somewhere.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, right? Yeah, that was
sure.
Chicago. So that's going on.
Lloyd says yes.
Yeah, Lloyd knows all. So be able to tune in today for some more basketball. And like we said, conference tournaments are wrapping up. A lot of teams looking to get in that not necessarily, were expected to, like the Bradley Braves. We'll talk a little bit about them real quick. They win the Missouri Valley, and then you go into the tournament and get blown out by Drake, and now Bradley's not even going to make the tournament. So, you have that long season. And Missouri Valley doesn't typically get 2 teams in, which is disappointing because you have a great season and you win the Missouri Valley, and then you go to the Missouri Valley tournament.
I was going to say, you're getting to the point where the Missouri Valley Conference has a couple teams that could do some damage in the tournament. And I think we've seen it in the last few years even.
Right.
So it's too bad they're not getting at least, have the one guaranteed, but it's too bad they're not getting another one in there.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking, because it's a long season, and to win the season outright, that's a big accomplishment. Mm-hmm. And then to have it determined by the tournament, it's the way it's always been.
It's the way it's been.
The way it's going to be. So, anything else you want to touch base on before we go to break?
No, we got some other stuff coming up that I think people would rather hear about.
And I agree. So let's take a commercial break. We come back, we will have the Lady Railers on with us. So stay tuned. You're in the Cheap Seats, WLCN 96.3 FM.
Scoring going to the playoffs. I can't believe I missed that. Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone. What? I should take your phone away. No. I'll call for a ride. Hey, why does my face look like that?
I'm playing with these new face filters.
Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine.
But I need that back.
No.
Kevin!
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Illinois. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the IHSA and the Illinois Athletic Directors Association.
this is Greg Murphy from the Phillies broadcast team, and you're listening to Cheap Seats on 96.3 FM WLCN.
The Cheap Seats, WLCN 96.3 FM. We're at Jake's Furnishings, and now we have the stars of the show, the Lady Railers. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
We all awake?
No.
No? Well, I know Coach is. She's not a morning person. We've had her on the past several weeks, but some of you, we had you on, 3 or 4 years ago? You guys should be ready to go. You know what's going on. So we'll get started, Coach. Let's introduce who we have here so the viewers can put a name to the face.
We have Piper Whiteman, Chloe Froby, Jenna Bowman, Tori Garretts, Mia Clark, and Mason McLeod.
All right. Well, let's dive right in, Coach. Before we get going, let's just go over some of the accomplishments you guys had this year, which there's a lot of them. Obviously, 30-0, undefeated season, regular season. The Pain of Thanksgiving tournament champs.
Yep.
Dixon KSB Holiday Classic tournament champs.
Yes.
Apollo Conference champs. Ranked number 2 in the state during the regular season. Regional champs, sectional champs, super sectional champs, and then the runner-up, obviously, which it's got to leave a bad taste in your mouth, but nothing to be ashamed of. You guys had a fantastic season, and the good thing is you're all back next year. So is that, knowing that this wasn't your last game, in the back of your head, does that kind of ease the pain of not, winning it all, knowing that, we're going to be back next year and even stronger? And when I say even stronger, the opponents must be fearing, because you guys dominated just about every game. So does that kind of ease it up a little bit, knowing that you guys are all going to be back next year, and now you have an ultimate goal?
I think a loss, no matter when it was going to be, was going to be tough, and so I think that that's still going to be bitter in the back of our heads all season next year. We're just going to be thinking about that game, and I think that's going to motivate us a little bit more. Because we had the goal to make it to state this year, and next year it's going to be to win state now. We know that we can, it's in reach. We know that we can accomplish it, and I think that that's going to push us a little farther.
Well, let's go back to the beginning of the season, Coach. Obviously, there were some high expectations for these girls, just knowing what they've done in the past. Did they overachieve, or is this something that you knew that they were capable of doing? And I mean, obviously, it's remarkable.
I think that we knew we were capable of getting the state and achieving our goals, one game at a time. I don't think any of us expected to go into the state championship game undefeated. That was never, like I'd said it before, it was never a goal of ours. It was never like in the forefront of our brains to be undefeated. But we just kept rolling, we kept getting better, and the kids kept working harder. And when you have a group that's working as hard as these guys, then you're gonna achieve more than your expectations. But going into this season, I can't lie, I knew that we'd be good. You set that goal of wanting to make it to state, knowing that you're capable of doing it. So, I definitely, the expectations were high, but they rose to every challenge, and I'm really proud of them. I'm proud of our season. We came up a little bit short in that championship game, but nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, they played hard. I think that as a coach, the only thing that you can ask is that your kids go out and they play as hard as they can, and I believe they did that for 32 minutes. They did the best they could, and I'm proud of them.
So from day one till the last game of the season, a lot of improvement with these girls, only being juniors and sophomores and freshmen. So what do you focus on this summer to make them even better?
I mean, I think you focus on everything. We can always improve. We can improve our shooting. We can improve our ball movement. I think we need to get a little bit stronger, maybe a little bit quicker. But, I think that continuing to play as a team and having that team chemistry is one of the things that set us apart from a lot of teams, is just the chemistry these kids have on the floor. I actually told Coach that one day. I think it was before the Deerfield game. I was like, well, we have something that they don't have. And he was like, well, what? I said, well, we have team chemistry. And a lot of teams don't have that. They put 5 players on the floor that could be the most talented players, but they might not have team chemistry. And these kids, they know how to play together. And it makes all the difference.
Phone lines are open, 217-871-4930. If you want to call in and ask a question to these ladies or congratulate them, give us a call here. Do we have a caller now? Is this going to work? All right. Go ahead, caller. Who are we talking to this morning?
Hi, this is Mrs. Bowlby.
Mrs. Bowlby.
I just want to say how proud I am of the girls, watching them improve their skills all season long, even since they were freshmen. And then as a team, they just did awesome. We're both proud of you. Both me and my husband, we came to see you, and just so proud of you all.
Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate it, and all the support you've given us. Mrs. Bowlby was our teacher in junior high at WLB, so
she knows all about you guys. And that's another thing, Mrs. Bowlby and former Lady Railers all come together, and that support just had to be kind of overwhelming, wasn't it? Just the old timers and, yeah, what?
Nothing, just the old timers. Just that phrase. I kind of felt bad for them.
I'm an old timer.
Ouch, burn.
Well, they are. It's been years and years. We've got an old timer over there. When you're out of school for 20 some years, you become an old timer. But to have that support, and for those alumni, we'll say alumni, is that better? To come together and give you support. How does that make you feel?
It's a really good feeling because, most of these alumni I didn't even know, but now I know their faces and know their names. And, looking up at the board, most of those are the alumni, and it's cool that I know who they are.
Another caller? That's a record. 2 callers. All right. Who we talking to this morning?
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Hey, my name's Rick Kaplinger. I'm calling from Evansville, Indiana.
Wow.
I'm from Lincoln originally, but I was at the state tournament this past weekend, and I thought the girls played excellent games. And I believe that they were a few bounces away from winning that championship game. And I believe they will be back next year. Coach, I want to ask you, do you have any intentions of maybe strengthening your schedule?
We have been looking at that. Going back into the CS8, we're going to be losing a lot of games. So we've been, trying to pick up different games in various areas. We're looking to try to go a little bit north towards the Peoria, Washington, Metamora area. They've got some pretty strong teams up there. So we are looking at that. Coach Al and I working together on that. So it's just kind of a matter of who has openings in their schedule and things like that too.
Very good, very good. Okay, well, good luck to you, Coach and players. I hope to see you back at state next year.
Thanks, we appreciate it.
He talks about scheduling tougher teams. A lot of these schedules are done 2 or 3 years in advance.
Right.
So it's probably difficult to get in a different team, and maybe you have an open spot or two.
Right, and that is part of it is you can look and see who we play next year already, but we are still trying to pick up some non-conference games because in the CS8 you only play one round, so we'll only see Rochester once, we'll only see SHG once. So we are trying to pick up some more non-conference games. I've gotten a couple emails from some northern schools that want to play us, so we'll see.
Yeah. Back to the Central State 8. You guys started your high school career in the Apollo. We got guys over here, Central State 8. Central State 8's Lincoln basketball, right? Coach Farmer? Just back in the day, less travel too. I mean, your furthest trip's going to be Jacksonville, all interstate. You don't have to go down the 2 lanes, and so it's going to be a lot better for you guys. And the competition's going to be the same. Not taking anything from the Apollo, because there's a lot of good teams over there. Mahomet, Rochester, you've guys seen them. But it's going to be easier on the broadcast team being in the Central State 8, less travel. Now my contract is I'm able to go a little further. My contract was like a 30-mile radius. Yeah, so it's going to expand a little bit. But back to the season, Coach. None of your games were really close. I mean, you had a Peoria High, that you scheduled in there, and that was going to be your biggest challenge of the season. And come away with a victory. Did that prepare your girls a little bit more? Because being in a close game matters. You guys saw that at the state tournament. I don't think you guys ever been behind, and you dig a little bit of a hole. And have you?
I don't know. I was trying to think. Were we behind at Plains at all?
No.
I don't think so.
No. Because it was close for a little bit there.
Yeah, so just getting those tougher games in, like our last caller said, is going to benefit your girls. We got to find some teams with some height, because that Nazareth team, holy cow. I mean, you guys were quicker, but it's hard to shoot over a giant, and it changes your trajectory of your shot. So that probably had a little bit of it, but we'll talk about the state game here in a little bit.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
Don't even remember. I was babbling. Just preparing, like our last caller said, for better teams.
Right. I mean, I think that, it was a weird season because, when we looked at our schedule, we prepared for every game. Like we told the kids exactly what they were going to see on the floor, and that really mentally prepared them. This is such a smart group of kids. We could throw the other teams like 7 inbounds plays at them, and they would know them, stepping on the floor that night. But I think that, when Becca got hurt, our plan was to start preparing in our own gym for close games and what we could see in the postseason. And when Becca got hurt, we kind of had to reconfigure our team. And I think in the long run it benefited us because people got more playing time and we were better prepared going to the state tournament. We were a little bit deeper. But on the other side of things, we weren't able to do the preparation for the state tournament that we knew we needed. And that was something that, Coach and I had talked a lot about was, okay, we need to prepare for these kind of situations, these kind of games. I think we got like maybe 3 days of doing that. And it was beneficial, but we weren't able to get through enough. And but I think that when you hit challenges like Becca getting hurt or some of the other things that the team had gone through this year, it made us stronger. And I think in the long run, it's one of the reasons why we made it to the state tournament is these kids really had to come together and rally, and they did that. And then Becca came back, and we were even stronger. And so I think that next year, whatever kind of competition, hopefully we stay healthy. It's been 3 years of injuries, so we're hoping that next year is like the healthy year. And, Jenna had a broken wrist her freshman year. Tori had a broken leg her freshman year. So they really only played, their sophomore years. Chloe got hurt the end of last season and played hurt. Becca got hurt this year and played hurt. So these are tough kids, and we're gonna do what is given to us next year, whether we're preparing in our own gym or preparing against other teams.
Well, let's take a quick commercial break. We come back, we'll continue here on the Cheap Seats with the Lady Railers, so don't go anywhere. You're on the Cheap Seats, WLCN 96.3 FM.
Donating pet food can keep families together. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
If you're an ally of this community, speak out. There are more of us together than apart, and so they need you to stand with them.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. So if you want to talk to your kids, you got to get it trending. I was just trying to get your attention.
Could I just ask?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org.
This is Lauren Wallace, and you're listening to Cheap Seats with Joe, Jake, Jim, Lloyd, and Scott on 96.3 FM.
Cheap Seats, WLCN 96.3 FM. We are with the Lady Railers this morning, and we have another caller. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
We're doing good. And who are we talking to this morning?
Well, this is Jeff from Lexington, Kentucky, and I'm a huge Railer fan. I've got a relative that's on the team, and I'm a Railer alumni. So I love this team. Love Taryn Stolzenberg. She's my niece.
Kind of figured she had got a little grin there.
So my question for the team is what's off season look like in terms of getting ready for next season, in terms of practicing and conditioning? And I'll hang up and listen.
Well, we're obviously going to work on like the things like that we're not as strong as. Like for me, it's probably ball handling and, just like strengthen our abilities in any way possible to prepare for next year.
I think it's also important that, people know that most of these kids are also involved in other sports. Taryn plays softball, Jenna plays soccer. I think, Becca's running track. A lot of our younger girls are involved in other sports. So we kind of want them to be involved and do their spring sport, and then come summertime, we'll get them back in the gym and get to work. But it is important that they get to be high school kids and they get to, enjoy all that high school has to offer. And, that includes, like going to the dance tonight or, different things like that. Like they're well-rounded individuals. And so we want them to enjoy their high school careers as much as possible.
Now, you talk about injuries and other sports that they play. Is it important for them to get their rest, maybe take a little time off? I know they're young, but their bodies have to heal and recuperate, right?
Well, that's not up to me. That's up to their coaches that they have now. Jenna said that she had a couple days off. I don't know what Taryn, Taryn went right into softball. I do remember her saying my arm is sore from throwing. I think, I had told Becca, I said, hey, I think you need to take Sunday off. Like, don't jump on that treadmill. Like, just take a day before you practice on Monday. And I do think that a little bit of rest is never a bad thing. But they are young and their bodies are resilient. I mean, it's not like us when, we do one workout and we're struggling the next day.
Speaking of rest, are you comfy there, Coach? Coach Farmer joining us now. And, well, we can get it to you for, get you a good deal on that right there.
Oh, okay.
But, so is another call?
No.
No? Oh, well, that's 3. That's about our max. Let's talk a little about leading up to the state tournament. Obviously, we go into regionals. You kind of walk through that. Let's see, what was the score? You took on a Rantoul, 88-11. So we don't really need to talk about that one. Champaign Central.
Well, hang on a second. At Rantoul, Chloe scored her 2,000th point.
Okay, all right.
So that was a big deal.
Big deal, yep. And then we move on to Champaign Central for the regional championship, 74-37. And we'll get to all the record breakers here in a while because you guys set a lot of records. And
I'd have to pull up my form.
Yeah.
It's a long list.
So regional champs, and then we move on to sectionals. A Mount Zion team that you've faced during the season. You took care of business there. And then going to Rochester for the sectional championship. Going into a school, playing that school in their home court, I don't want to say is that a concern, but, they've got the upper hand. And, you go in there and I feel that Lincoln had just as many fans as Rochester did.
Well, Railer Nation comes out. I mean,
obviously, that's fun. But did you feel that Rochester, that could be a tough one for you?
We knew it would be a tough one. I mean, JR is a great coach, and they're a good team. They've got a Division I player. And then she's got a lot of help surrounding her. Coach would tell you that I've been telling him for about a month and a half. I was having nightmares about having to play Rochester at Rochester for the sectional championship. Now, I never did see the ending of the game. I'd always wake up, so I never knew what was going to happen. But, it was something that had been on my mind. I knew it was coming. But I think that our kids just handle it in stride. We, going into postseason, as you look, you think, okay, well, you could end up playing Bloomington at Bloomington, Rochester at Rochester, and Taylorville at Taylorville. And those were things that, you have to be mentally ready to play in those games because they're playing at home, they're comfortable there. And Rochester had played their regional games there too. So they had 3 games in a row. We were their 4th game in a row at home where there was nothing there to break it up.
How's that allowed?
Hey, that's not up to me. That's out of my pay grade.
We're going to have to make some phone calls. Don't you know the AD of Lincoln?
But yeah, so we prepared pretty hard for that game. Just trying to get the kids ready, and they came out and they played a great game, and I think that they handled their best player really well, and our post really worked in that game, and that was something that we knew was going to be a big difference, was how well our backs worked, because they were really strong, on the baseline for a baseline drive or in the middle, and our backs really took care of business that day, and we out-rebounded them, which is the key really to any game, and so they did a good job against a very well-coached and very skilled Rochester team on their home floor.
Well, you played him so well, you forced him into retirement.
Well, I had known for about a year that he was going to retire, so I knew. I had told my husband going into that game, if we win, it'll be his last. And that's a hard thing, because when you're coaching, you know how much you love it, and to be the one who's going to be that coaching against somebody in their last game, that's a hard thing, and I knew that going into it, and but my kids first.
I'm saying, was it really that hard?
Well, because I really like the guy. I think he's a great stand-up guy.
Yeah.
I just, you put yourself in those shoes. Someday, it'll be my last game, and somebody will end my coaching career, and that, I think that's a hard thing. Well,
unless you win a state championship, then they can't.
True.
So,
but I'm not planning on stepping down anytime soon. So that's a ways away.
Good. So then we move on to the super sectional over in Taylorville, which was packed. I don't know how Taylorville gets a super sectional. They usually put those in bigger gyms because of the fans traveling, but going over to Taylorville, taking on a Highland team that you knew was going to be tough. And was it Highland or Deerfield that they had, 3 Division I?
Deerfield.
Was it? Okay, we'll get to that one next then. But Highland, you knew was going to be a tough game over in Taylorville, and started off close, and then like you guys do every game, you just pull away, and you're I guess your relentlessness and the speed and the pace that you guys play just wears teams down.
We played great defense again. Coach and I, we just try to prepare the kids for what they're going to see. I had gone down to Highland and watched them play. I knew, what to expect. And, Coach, I think he took a day off work to watch film. I think he watched film for 8 hours to have that luxury. But so we just tried to, get the kids ready, and And they came out and they played really well. You know, on the other side of things, playing at Taylorville was kind of nice because we had played there before. We knew the gym. We played against Taylorville there early in the season, and Highland hadn't. And I think, you know, for a couple of us, myself, Chloe, you know, we really wanted that one. You know, that was one that I had wanted back from 2016. Highland is who beat us the last time we played in the Super.
Okay.
And so that was, you know, important to me to get through them. I wanted to beat them so bad. And you know, I know Chloe did too for her sister. And you know, Grace Bossingham is, you know, one of our assistants, and she was like, "Oh, I'm so happy you guys got revenge on them." You know, so. It was a special victory, and it sent us to state, which was the ultimate goal.
Absolutely. We got another caller. Good morning.
We're there.
Well, that's typical on the cheap seats, so they don't want to wait. Okay, so super sectional champs. Now we move on to state. You take on a Deerfield team, and you're familiar with those Chicago schools. You know their attitudes, their expectations, and how they feel about us rednecks down here. So that was a game going in. They had, what, 3 Division I guards?
Yeah.
I didn't see one. Our girls made them look silly. So that was a game that, you know, you win that game, you're going to the championship. Tell us a little bit about the Deerfield game and then the comments afterwards.
I mean, we knew it would be a tough one. You're playing to get to a state championship. You know,
right.
we prepared really hard for 3 days for what, you know, these kids were going to see, the kind of speed they were going to see, and that, you know, it's a hard thing to simulate that kind of speed in practice, and to have that many guards. There was a couple times, you know, I'd throw Chloe on the other team just to try to simulate the kind of, you know, skill that they would go up against, and I think our kids just played really, really great defense. And you know, something about this team is, you know, when they smell blood, they just keep digging harder. And you know, we pulled away a little bit at first, and then they came back. Gotta expect that from a good team. And but it was such a team victory. I mean, everybody did their part. Everybody, you know, played their role, you know, and some of the things that these kids do, it doesn't show up in a stat book, you know, but they're doing it, you know. Taryn, I don't think got beat off the dribble one time in that game. You know, like, just phenomenal defense, you know, stops the other team from being able to score. You know, our bigs rebounded really well. You know, it's just, you know, we run the floor well. You know, Chloe was able to get the ball up to Becca a couple times, up to Taryn a few times, you know, just doing what we do. And it was a successful victory. And I just think that I had read, she quoted somewhere before the game that, you know, they were very in shape, and you know, most teams can't handle how in shape they are. But I think our team might be the most in shape team in the state, and that showed on that big floor, and they did an incredible job. So really proud of the way they played.
Was it tougher playing on a bigger floor? Did you notice it, or was it easier? Because probably a little easier to get your spacing, or was it, you know, more difficult?
It was definitely more difficult. We had to move our defense back because it's a lot of space to cover,
right.
Definitely on the press, but we worked on it a lot in practice, and I thought that we did pretty well with it.
How do you work on that on practice, Coach? Do you kind of extend your court? I mean...
Oh, we went to the Christian College.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well,
so they helped us out. They let us practice over there for 3 days, so that really helped. I think Chloe had something she wanted to say.
Oh, I just wanted to add that I think before the game we were a little stressed about it. You know, we were moving it back. We were a little nervous, not really confident in the fact that we are that in shape, like Coach said. So we were a little nervous. But once the game got going and we had the crowd support behind us, I think, in my perspective, I don't know, I think I would say the same for the others, just by looking around and knowing that they're still running ahead and we're still sprinting. I don't think we really thought about it too much. And right. So I think that the bigger court didn't affect us as much as we thought it would.
Right, well, because it's new for the other team as well. So they have to adjust, you just adjusted better. So
yeah.
All right, so we move on to the championship game. A Nazareth team, they were ranked number 1 in state the whole year. You guys moved up to number 2, so the championship game came down to what it was supposed to be. They're big. No disrespect to them. They were a good team. How did you guys feel after the game, how you matched up with them? Obviously, they're bigger, and that changes things. But as far as quickness, I think we had them there. But, you get some size. That's tough.
Their size hurt us. You can't. These kids play with such a big heart, but they're just not big physically. And I think it made a little bit of a difference in the game for sure. We didn't win the boards battle, and Coach says before every game, if you win the boards, you're going to win the game. That's a major thing because you don't give teams second chances. They didn't miss. They shot the ball really well that night. When we watched them against Peoria, I don't think they shot as well, but they got comfortable. And the kids worked really hard on defense. We were just a little bit outmatched. I think that we were flustered by their defense. It was a defense we hadn't seen before, and I tried to, we tried to simulate it a little bit in practice that day and show them, but Chloe had said this at the press conference, maybe if we have a couple more days of getting comfortable with that defense, because I think towards the end of the game, we started getting comfortable and you could see the shift where we started relaxing and being comfortable with a defense that, is more of a gimmick defense that they run really well. It did make a little bit of a difference. A good friend said to me, you didn't lose, you just ran out of time, and maybe that's the case. Maybe you put 5 more minutes on that clock, maybe it's a different ball game, but the kids played hard, and I think that as long as your kids are going out and playing to the very best of their ability and playing as hard as they can, then you're a winner anyways. So.
Absolutely. And let's see, phone numbers once again, 217-871-4930 if you want to give us a call, ask a question, or congratulate these ladies on their spectacular season. Let's get to the ladies. Let's start down here with Piper. Piper.
Oh, I was going to give her my headset.
Yeah. Well, you're going to have to talk about it.
Oh, Oh, I'm talking.
Yeah.
I thought we did this already early in the year.
Did we? Well, that's too long ago. Piper, you're the sophomore on the team, the youngster, I guess. What was your favorite moment at your state tournament? Was there anything behind the scenes or anything that you enjoyed?
Probably the memories we made in the locker room and leading up to the game and chanting and everything with my teammates. It was just so much fun. We will never be able to replace those memories. They were just so much fun. Yeah.
Okay. Being a sophomore, you play any other sports?
Volleyball, and then I start my AAU practice, which I'm missing it right now, but
hey, you got to. It's worth it. So what do you plan on doing? Obviously, you're playing AAU. That kind of goes through spring into the summer.
Yeah.
So just kind of improving your skill set and maybe growing a foot.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, get on that stretcher. How did you handle, because what was number 23 and 21? They're big girls down low.
We're all big, yeah.
Yeah.
They were big.
They're telling you to box out, rebound. Well, that's tough. When they give maybe 5-6 inches on you and some size, so that's a tough task. Yeah, but you did great. So
Thank you.
And then just grow, get stronger, hit the weight room.
Grow, yeah.
That's. I don't know what the secret is, Farmer. How do we make them grow?
Oh, I'm not too tall.
But did Coach Farmer instill that Farmer toughness?
Yeah.
He's
kind of.
The Farmers are known for their aggressiveness, their toughness on the floor, with him and his brother Corey.
Still there.
Or Brandon and Corey, I should say. And then, so do they take you out on the court and muscle you up a little bit? Make you tougher?
I know my teammates, they make me stronger during practice whenever we're playing defense.
Yeah.
So, they push me to be better, but I guess Corey made me stronger.
And then growing up, you had 2 older brothers, and I'm sure, you guys are out playing driveway. So.
They definitely made me stronger. Yeah.
All right. Anything you want to give a shout out to anybody?
My family, they're definitely watching, so thank you for the support throughout the season.
Is your brother watching from Miami?
I'm not sure. He's in North Carolina right now.
Oh, is he? Okay.
They just lost to Duke last night, yeah.
Oh,
but, yeah. And Becca, good luck at your track meet.
Pass it down. Who's next here? Go ahead and... Are we just going to... Let's go down the row here. Tell us who you are.
I'm Chloe Froby.
Okay, Chloe. What was your experience as you went to the state tournament?
I think it hasn't really set in yet. It's beginning to, but it's just something that it's just unbelievable. Thinking about, I was on the court, and at the end of the Deerfield game, at the end of the state championship, I always made sure to look up in the crowd for a little bit just to take it all in.
Right.
And I think that it's just a really cool experience, looking out, seeing all that support, all those people. We really made a name for ourselves this year, and I think that it was really cool. And to be able to say we're coming back next year is just amazing.
Right. And you talk about support. Not only were Lincoln fans there, I know your mom's from Bushnell, I'm from Bushnell, and there was a lot of Bushnell people there, just people all around. And so just to see them, and your grandparents, boy, that they travel all over the place.
They're
and
so supportive. They're at every game. You would think they lived in Lincoln.
I told them they need to move here because
we've tried.
Yeah, and they just don't do it, huh?
But yeah, there was so much support from just not just our community, but all of the local towns around us.
Yeah.
We have friends from out of town that were there. We have friends that were watching from all the way from Texas that messaged us before the game, letting us know that they were tuning in, and just the support that we have is insane that you won't get anywhere else.
Right. And I'm sure you have some off-season plans as far as AAU and all that, and so that's going to probably take up a lot of your summer and spring.
Yeah, we have AAU season starting up here soon, practices and just games and everything, and hopefully fitting in some college visits in there. And Piper and I hopefully will be going to some trainers and getting stronger while in the off season.
Okay. Now I know you don't like to talk about it, but you broke a lot of records this year and set some high marks as a junior. Do you want to talk about any of those? I mean, I know you scored over 1,000 points in a season. That's amazing. A lot of people don't do that in a career.
1,045.
1,045 to be exact. And any other things you want to throw out there? They're individual accomplishments, but you wouldn't be able to do it without your team.
No, and I think that's something that I need to really stress, because I don't think a lot of people understand that, is none of that would be, I would not have been able to score that much. I would not have been able to break these records without my teammates.
Right.
They work hard on defense, allowing me to get the rebounds, steals, push the ball up the court, and they don't care who scores as long as we're scoring, and they're excited for me coming off the bench, which is a really nice feeling to have. A lot of girls don't have that. There's a lot of jealousy, and my teammates, they're not jealous, and I think that's really cool to have.
Yeah, that is. Obviously, when you have the support of your teammates, you guys are all unselfish, and you can see it on the court. So,
yeah.
You want to give a shout out to anybody?
My family and Railer Nation for supporting us throughout this whole season. My Uncle Kyle and Aunt Lacey, they live in Arizona, and they've been following us this whole season. They're always watching every game. My whole family was at, I had a little section in the front. It was really cool to see. So I really want to give out a shout out to my family because they're really amazing.
All right. Who are we talking to next?
Jenna Bowman.
Okay, you want to push that to your mouth a little bit?
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Now we can hear you. All right, Jenna. What was your take on the season and how it progressed? And 3-point shooter right here. I mean, she set a record too as well, did she? 3 records. Okay, what were those records?
I don't know what the third was, but
threes in a game.
Yep. 3s
in a season. 3-point percentage.
Okay. Impressive, because Lincoln's known for their threes, and how many threes did you make in a career?
I can't on one hand.
What was your experience as far as the state tournament?
It was just insane. Like Chloe said, I still can't comprehend it all. And all I can just think about is my favorite moment, and it was when we walked out of the charter bus on the state championship game, and everyone was just lined up at the doors, and they were all cheering for us. That was just cool to see.
Yeah, that kind of pumps you up a little bit.
Yeah.
And, was it kind of a fog just with, I'm sure you had to be in certain spots at certain times and protocol and all this other stuff. Did that just kind of, leave like a foggy, did you really know what was going on? Did you take it all in, or was it just kind of a blur, I should say?
Well, I mean, we all felt like a famous person because we were going through like the back ways, and we couldn't really see all of our fans like after the game and stuff, which kind of sucked. But I feel like I didn't get to take it all in because I was really focused on the game, which I kind of regret. But
well, that's fine.
Yeah.
We want you focused on the game.
Yeah.
Next year you can take it all in and
no
focus on.
Just take it all.
Yeah, just let her rip. But overall, great experience, and like you said, you guys felt like movie stars, and and that's what it's all about, and that just builds the fire more for next year. You want to give a shout out to anybody?
My mom. I mean, she's been there the whole season with us doing the book, and she's probably the only family member of my family watching this right now.
Nothing wrong with that. And I would ask you guys future plans, but we already know what your future plans are. We don't have any seniors here, so not moving on to college. So you'll be right back here next year. So, that's a good thing. All right, next.
Tori Garrett's.
All right. And you play down low. You're one of the, the bigs, I should say. How did you feel that you matched up with the Giants from Nazareth?
It was definitely a huge difference from what I've seen in the season, and they were very strong, very big, and they were fast too.
Yeah. Now, will they move up a class next year, Coach? Because they're young too.
Yeah, they'll be 4A next year.
Okay, good. All right. So we don't have to see them again because they're going to obviously they're going to be bigger and stronger, and they probably would have beat the 4A schools.
They have. They played almost all 4A schools throughout the season. Yeah.
So I mean that's huge for a little 3A school in Central Illinois to go on and take these Chicago schools and play them. That's probably one of the better games that they've seen all year. Nazareth, I would say.
I think so.
Yeah.
It was probably one of their closer scoring. Yeah. We probably played them one of the toughest that they had.
Yeah. So, you play any other sports?
No.
No, just basketball?
Yep.
Okay.
Just basketball.
So what are your plans on the off season?
Well, I'm gonna start working, and also I practice a lot. I go to the rec, I play in the driveway, and I scrimmage my brother Ryan, our manager, actually assistant coach, a lot. Yeah.
Okay. Well, he's tall.
Yeah.
I mean, all right. Is he not?
He is.
It must be a backstory. I'm lost here.
No
Farmer,
comment.
fill me. No comment? Okay.
We love Ryan. Great. He's a great manager.
Great man. Is he a senior or is he?
Great assistant coach.
He's a great assistant coach. He's a junior.
A junior, so he'll be back.
He'll be back.
All right.
D1 assistant coach.
Yeah, if you watch that 1450.
Hey.
Yep.
A D1 is
Yeah, there were scouts in the stands scouting him to go coach at the college level.
Well, let's hope that works out for him. Keep us updated.
Oh, I will. Yeah.
I forgot where I was at now. What did I just ask him? Farmer, you want to take over?
No. You asked her what she was doing this summer.
Oh, okay. Summer. You want to give a shout out to anybody?
My family and all my friends, and just for amazing support throughout the season. So.
Okay. Yeah. Pass the mic. All right.
Taryn Stolzenberg.
Taryn, okay, and you're what they would call 3-point specialist?
Oh gosh, sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. What was your take on the state championship? What was your favorite moment? Obviously, walking out of the tunnel, seeing everybody there cheering when you come out.
Yeah, it was great. Like coming through the tunnel right before warm-ups, and then like running out and just hearing the crowd explode. Like it was just awesome.
Yeah. So kind of carries over to you want to feel that again next year, right?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. You play any other sports?
Yeah, I play volleyball and softball.
Okay. Want to give a shout out to anybody?
Well, I know my Uncle Jeff is watching, so shout out to you and Aunt Bev, and then the rest of my family I know is watching. So.
Okay. Now, Matt, your dad.
Yeah.
Did he teach you how to shoot? Probably not.
A little bit. A little.
No, I'm going to say no.
Yeah, probably not. I'm just kidding.
All right. Go ahead and pass the mic there. All right. What's your name?
Mia Clark.
Mia. Okay. And what grade are you in?
Freshman.
Freshman. Okay. So being a freshman, just soaking all this in, and, one of these days you're going to have to take over the reins. And, how do you feel that you have progressed as a freshman? Obviously going up against these girls every day in practice is going to make you better.
Yeah, it made me stronger, definitely. In practice, I don't know. Well, they're amazing role models for me as a freshman.
Yeah.
So that's what I feel like the best thing of being a freshman is going on the court and watching them succeed.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's all right. So, you go in as a freshman. Obviously, you played some JV, and, is there a big difference from the talent of junior varsity when you're playing and you go into a varsity game?
Yeah, for sure.
The speed and all that. Yeah, so it's going to take...
Usually way bigger, way
faster. So, you got time to, next year you'll even be better and grow and get stronger, and you'll fit right in.
Yeah.
Yep. You want to give a shout out to anybody?
My mom.
Okay.
And Grandpa.
Grandpa. All right. You can pass the mic. What's your name?
Mason McLeod.
Okay. And what grade you in?
Freshman.
Freshman. Another freshman. You put the two freshmen on the end?
Yep.
Yeah.
They sat where they sat. I don't know.
Well, you didn't know half of them were going to show up.
Yeah, it was everybody that came today was a surprise. I don't know.
That's good. They want to surprise you, keep you on your toes.
Communicating in the postseason is hard because, I usually text Chloe and I'm like, okay, hey, this is the deal. Well, Chloe sends it out in a Snapchat, but not everybody has Snapchat, or it's just it's been kind of messy. I don't know. It hasn't been great. We need a better system.
Well, who doesn't have Snapchat? You have Snapchat, Farmer? Yeah, I don't know how to operate it, but I have it. Okay, so you're a freshman, and you're probably just learning it as well, soaking it all in, and one of these days you'll be in the same spot. Yep. Now, I don't know how to word this, but obviously younger girls are watching, and you want to, they start small like you guys did and work it up, and to see them on TV, it's got to, you guys are role models now in Lincoln. Have you been approached by any maybe little girls and let's say that, they want to play basketball just like you guys?
Yep. My sister and her class in second grade, they all admire every one of us, and
yeah, so that's fun.
Yeah.
Have you been approached, Coach? Just by the community as a whole? Obviously everybody's proud of you, but you're really kind of getting your program, rolling, and a lot of people interested.
Right. I think it's really exciting to see, the younger kids, they came and they got signatures, and, I had a friend tell me, the other day that, her niece was too nervous to ask for Chloe's signature, so she had to do it, for her. And Chloe said, "Oh, I remember you from camp," and it made her weak. It made her, it made her want to go out and shoot. And they spent the next day out in the driveway, and that's really cool that these young kids, they get to watch these incredible role models. Right. And then they go out in their driveway and they want to be like them. Like they're pretending, they're not pretending to be, NBA players. They're pretending to be, Chloe or Taryn or Piper or Jenna, Tori. Like they're, okay, I'm going to be this player today. And that's what they're doing in their driveway. And that's a really cool thing because that means that the future of Lady Railer basketball is really bright. And it's because of what they've done. And it's a total credit to, the 12 kids on the team and the work they put in and the season they had. And the way that they conduct themselves on the floor and in public. And we're very fortunate to have such great role models.
Absolutely. Do you play any other sports?
Volleyball.
Volleyball. All right. You want to give a shout out to anybody?
My siblings and my mom.
All right. Well, Farmer, you want to add anything?
Add something.
I mean, you got Coach Farmer. I know we talked to you about this before, Coach. Having him on the bench is, he was very detrimental to, what you guys did all season. To have his knowledge and, his intake and his input.
We wouldn't be where we are without him. I mean, he's an incredible coach. He just knows the game so well, and he knows how to relay it to them. He knows how to get the best out of them, and we definitely, I don't think we'd have been playing a state championship game without him, without his input and everything he's done for our team. So we're very, very lucky to have him, and yeah.
Now, you've been around basketball your whole life, and is it difficult as far as coaching girls compared to boys? Or is it just kind of the same? You got to be a little more, I don't know the word for it.
I get that question all the time. I got that question last night. Coaching girls is much different than boys. I coached at the college for 5 years. Girls listen. I'm just going to be honest. They listen. They want to get better. You don't deal with the attitudes that you do in boys. No, I did coach college, but it's. I never dreamed I'd be coaching girls, but it is fun coaching the girls team.
Yeah.
Just some things that I would add. Throughout the season, we had 12 varsity players, at the beginning of the year, and we had, 5 freshmen?
Yeah.
A couple sophomores?
5 freshmen, 2 sophomores.
At the beginning of the year, we had some problems with the younger ones, not really bringing it at practice and not pushing the varsity. And they'll be the first one, the 6 that played, be the first one to tell you they wouldn't have got there without the younger ones at practice pushing them. At practice we play, the JV plays a lot of man against them, and it's their own type of man. They don't really know how to play man, so it's a lot of, they don't really know what they're doing, but they're trying their hardest. They give everything they got to them, and sometimes, we struggle sometimes, but throughout the season from the beginning to the end, the younger ones finally figured out how to push the older ones, and I felt like that made a big difference for us.
Yeah, you're right. And just to get that practice in, that's hard to do when you're all so young, and your younger girls are running scout team for the other team, and they're still trying to learn the game as well. So that's got to be difficult. Yeah,
and the when Becca got hurt, kind of derailed us. Coach had talked about it earlier. We had to change. We had girls doing different roles, right. And we didn't really work with the JV on their skills much. We just kind of threw everybody in, and everybody changed roles, and it was chaotic there for a month or so until she came back. So,
well, it made you better too, because they did take on those different roles and different aspects of the game, and you bring Becca back, and then it's just keeps on going, and it's amazing how you got through that part of the season with her on the bench, because she was such a vital part of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, girls' roles changed, and they were doing things that they weren't used to, and by the end of the season, and you can see at the end of the season that they knew how to do those things that they weren't doing before. But the amount of support that we had everywhere we went, I don't know what their experience is the last week, but anywhere you go, people I didn't even know watch the game want to talk about the game and talk about the state tournament, and we didn't see that many people at the beginning of the year, but at the end, man, the support has just been crazy, and we really do appreciate it.
Yeah, and hopefully it continues. You guys have a good thing going here, and you're going to have a target on your back next year. All right, it's going to be a little different position for you, which is fine. You guys are going to be top dogs, so a lot of high expectations, and no doubt in my mind that we'll all be back at Redbird next year. Sound good?
That's the plan.
Sounds good with me.
You do have a fundraiser coming up,
I was about to
Coach.
say.
The Alumni Showdown. It's a Lincoln Lady Railer basketball fundraiser. It's Monday, March 13th at 6 p.m. at Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium. Can you tell us a little bit about what's going on? I'm reading mine too because, you know.
I got it all hung text.
Right.
All right. Monetary donations are taken at the door. There will be an autograph session with the team, a walk-through history of Lady Railer basketball in the back gym with 50 years worth of memorabilia, recognition of all former teams and coaches, as well as present recognition of the current team. Alumni versus alumni contest. These girls will not be participating in any contests. It's against sanctions, so they will be there and they'll be around. You can talk to them, but they won't be participating. But the alumni versus alumni speed dribbling, knockout, shootout challenge, longest granny shot, and three-point contest. There will be Lady Railer t-shirts for sale, Lady Railer decals for sale, a 50-50 raffle, and you'll be able to purchase tickets to bet on the winner of each contest for 50% of the cash from that contest ticket sales. You have to be of age to purchase those tickets, so you can't be, I think, under 18 or 19 to purchase those. So, but come out and support the Lady Railer basketball program. 100% of the proceeds will go to the team, and these girls really want new travel gear next year. So,
gotta have some new swag.
Yeah, they
maybe some new warm-ups, maybe something different.
We'll talk about that later. One thing at a time. Yeah, so I hope that a lot of people will come out on Monday and support them and just have a fun night out. Just, hopefully get to talk to them a little bit and, bring your kids out, get some autographs. And then before we go, I really want to say thank you to Railer Nation again for the support they showed us throughout the season, but definitely in the postseason. It's without a doubt the greatest celebration that I've ever seen in any sports. We felt like we were in a movie coming back into town. It's just the pride that was shown for our kids and for our community from all the fans was just incredible, and we can't say thank you enough. Like, thank you is just not enough to portray the way that it made us feel. So we appreciate you.
And I do want to give one more shout out to Tina Lowry. She's been amazing. She started with us the beginning of the year. She's been there throughout the whole year, growing up and everything. She's just an amazing person, and she has a big heart, and I want to thank her for all the support she's given us. And Lynn Polish, she comes out to as many games. Emily's not playing with us anymore, but she's still at the game. She's still taking pictures for us. She's still supporting us, and it really is amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we got to thank Jay Harden and your mom, Carrie, for broadcasting the games. How was that? Any at-home discussion?
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
The volume would be turned down if we ever would rewatch the games. But I know she really loved it, and it's a way for her to, not be yelling at me the entire game.
So we should put her under the headset next year as well, you're saying?
I mean, I think she likes it, and I'm okay with that.
You're okay? All right. Lost track of mine there, Corey. I'm sure it was pretty intelligent, but girls, great season. You guys should be proud of what you did. I know you came up a little short from your goal, but 36-1, that's amazing. So hopefully that fire's still there, that bad taste is in your mouth, and next year you guys will be even better. And a lot of your games that I watched, I knew you were going to win. I was just rooting for that 30-point mark for that running clock, just put the nail in the coffin. So, we'll see a lot more of that next year, and have a good off season, and then we'll see you right back here in a year.
Well, thank you for having us.
No problem. All right, anything else we need to add, Jim? I know it's overtime. You pay overtime? No? All right, well, then we're getting out of here. All right, thanks for tuning in, and if you want to tune in next week, Corey, we'll have J-Mac on. That's always interesting. So, yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, it is fun. All right. Thanks for tuning in to Cheap Seats, WLCN 96.3 FM.
The preceding program is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com.